Just like I promised, we have some brand new Dragon Ball Magic information, and this one is in particular to exactly what this new anime is gonna look like and who is the voice that is making it, like who is directing this new series. So if you're excited for this new Dragon Ball series, make sure you hit the like button. Our like goal for today is going to be 1,000 likes on today's video. Make sure you hit that like button as soon as possible. First things first, what is Dragon Ball Magic going to look like? They already stated in the leak that it's gonna look more like the 90s Dragon Ball anime with some new techniques. I'm assuming maybe some Shintani-esque techniques when it comes to the animation style and some 3D elements that they've harnessed since they've created Dragon Ball Super Superhero. So these are just elements that they're telling us exactly what it's gonna look like, but let's see if we can get like a taste of what it's gonna look like. And that is where they gave us the most prominent leak ever, and that is who is the character designer and who is the director, so we kind of know and get a feel as to what this show is going to be. Starting off, let's talk about Katsuyoshi Nakatsuru. This is the character designer for Dragon Ball Magic, and if you never heard of him, honestly, you're not alone, because the voice from DBZ in the 90s, at least the big one, the major one, is Yamamuro. But this guy, a lot of frames that people think are Yamamuro, they are him. It's his handiwork behind each and every single one. Some of the most iconic visual shots of the DBZ anime come from this guy. He has perfected the Dragon Ball Z 90s look. And so here's a little bit more information from a channel called Forgotten Relics,
which is also only the second as well as the last time he ever supervised a regular TV episode in this franchise. However, this time they not only appear on the skin but also on clothing and hair. Generally speaking, they're much less subtle than they were in episode 95. Now, to anyone familiar with Toriyama's work, this of course is taken from his, and is another example of Nakatsuru trying to replicate his stylistic attributes as best as possible. Like the shading, the shapes are sharp and simple, and also sometimes have rounded edges. Still, this more so seems to be Nakatsuru playing around with different approaches, as they never make an appearance in any of his key animations throughout the rest of this arc, and even in Z's character sheets, with exception to Boo, it seems they're absent from the main cast.
I mean, this guy animated by far one of my favorite episodes of Dragon Ball Z. So much of the content surrounding DBZ, posters, artwork, character sheets, all these different things to give us like this very crisp and detailed style that looks very much like the DBZ of old. It is quintessential old 90s DBZ, and if that is the voice, that is the character designer for Dragon Ball Magic, we are in good hands, especially since there really is only this guy that we're hearing from. If he is the only one that is touching Dragon Ball Magic with his hands, then they're gonna make some Dragon Ball Magic, because that is the problem with Dragon Ball Super, is that it had way too many cooks in the kitchen when it came to different qualities of animation per episode. DBZ was the same thing. Now, DBS Broly had one mind, so did DBS Superhero. It looks like this is gonna be in that same vein, but in a series where we're gonna be getting Dragon Ball Magic just in one burst. So this is really great news. Honestly, I don't think they could have found a better man for the job. I really do think that this is going to be one of the best looking Dragon Ball animes that we've seen in quite some time. And I'll be honest, I have a feeling it's going to look better than Dragon Ball Super. Now going to Aya Komaki, the series director for Dragon Ball Magic. And I don't know anything about her either, so I had to look it up. Went onto her IMDb page and I saw this. What is this? Upcoming project, Dragon Ball Super Monkey Rising. What is going on? Powered by the Super Dragon Balls, the true god of destruction Sin Shenron wreaks havoc in the multiverse, defeating angels and the Grand Minister. Can Goku and Vegeta and their new god techniques save the multiverse? What is this? Like, is this like a movie? Like, is it getting leaked? Is this getting leaked on air right now? And like nobody else has talked about this? Like, this is just a slight from Toei putting this on here by accident, and the new Monkey Rising is the new movie? No, probably not. Probably this is some sort of mistake, or somebody just adding to her IMDb, just, you know, trolling on it essentially, more than likely. I don't think this is actually real. But what is real is where she's worked before, and as you can see right here, One Piece, One Piece, One Piece. And I think it's a beautiful story. The fact that Dragon Ball inspired One Piece, and now One Piece is inspiring Dragon Ball, because as somebody who has been talking so much crap about One Piece for so long, because I haven't read it, I haven't watched it, and then now I've seen the live action on Netflix, and I just can't get enough of that world, because it's such a good adventure story. and it really interesting with interesting characters and paces and different abilities and storylines. This is just such a good omen for Dragon Ball Magic, because essentially we're getting the Grand Tour. The Grand Tour is an adventure story. One Piece is a grand adventure. Some may say the grandest of all adventures. So if this is the story, if this person has worked on One Piece like this and is now working on Dragon Ball Magic, I believe that Dragon Ball Magic is going to be far more of an adventure than we could have even realized. It's going to be something akin to what One Piece is, and I am here for it. I think that this is perfect for it. I think that One Piece inspiring Dragon Ball now, it's a beautiful figure eight. One Piece is just such a good adventure story, and I feel like Dragon Ball has really lost its adventure way, and we're essentially going back to the Grand Tour, or even the days of old Dragon Ball. We're going back to that because there is an adventure to be had to find this guy who has turned Goku and the Supreme Kai into children. This is great news, guys. I wanted to jump into these two personalities that were basically showcased name first, and so they are very important, and now we can kind of get a taste of what Dragon Ball Super Magic is going to look like.
Prepare yourself.